Man, Bears fans, I don't even know where to start today. It feels like one of those days where you wake up expecting the usual off-season news and then suddenly realize something much bigger might be happening right in front of us. And what makes this even crazier is that today we actually have two major Bears stories to talk about. The first one has the potential to impact the future of this franchise for decades. Not just next season, not just the next few years. I am talking about something that could completely change how Bears fans experience this team moving forward. Then the second story brings an entirely different layer to the conversation because the reaction around the NFL and around Bears Nation has been absolutely wild. Fans are emotional, people are taking sides, and the debate is getting louder by the hour. And honestly, as someone who lives and breathes Bears football every single day, I can tell you this feels like one of those moments where the direction of the franchise is being shaped right in front of us. Some fans are excited, some fans are furious. Some fans do not even know what to think anymore, but one thing is certain. The conversation surrounding the Chicago Bears today is unlike anything we have seen in a long time. We are going to break down both stories, what they could mean for the future of this franchise, and why Bears fans everywhere are reacting so strongly right now. Before we get into it, if you are a real Bears fan, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. And if you are new here, my name is Andrew and this is Bears News Daily. The channel is still brand new and we are pushing toward our first 100 subscribers. So if you truly believe in the future of this team and want to be part of this community from the very beginning, make sure you are subscribed. Now let's talk about what is happening with our Bears. Alright, Bears fans, let's start with the biggest story of the day because this is honestly something I never thought we would be talking about this seriously. The Chicago Bears have officially taken a major step toward leaving the state of Illinois. According to reports, Bears chairman George H. McCaskey and President and CEO Kevin Warren announced that the organization's board of directors voted to advance a stadium development project in Hammond, Indiana. And guys, this was not just another meeting. This was not just another rumor. This was not another round of negotiations. The board actually voted to move the project forward. That is what makes this feel different. For years we have heard discussions about Arlington Heights. We have heard discussions about Chicago. We have heard political debates, tax issues, stadium proposals and endless back and forth about where the future home of the Bears would be. But now we are looking at a situation where Hammond, Indiana appears to have the inside track. In their official statement, George McCaskey and Kevin Warren said they believe a world-class stadium project in Hammond would transform the region, connect Northwest Indiana to Chicago's South Side, connect communities throughout Chicagoland, and create opportunities for residents and businesses for decades to come. And when you read that statement, you can tell this is not being presented as a temporary idea. This sounds like ownership and team leadership talking about a long-term vision. Now here is why this happened. The Bears have been searching for a location to build their next stadium as they prepare to eventually leave Soldier Field. Think about that for a second. Soldier Field has been home to Bears football for generations. It is more than a stadium, it is part of the identity of this franchise. The current stadium is more than 100 years old, and the organization has repeatedly made it clear that they believe the future of the franchise requires a modern stadium solution. Earlier in the process, the Bears identified two primary possibilities: Arlington Heights, Illinois and Hammond, Indiana. But things started changing recently. On May 21st, the Bears publicly stated that the city of Chicago did not currently have what they considered a viable site for the project. Then another major factor entered the picture. The Illinois Senate failed to approve a proposal that would have provided tax incentives for mega projects worth $100 million or more before the legislative session ended on May 31st. That was viewed by many as something that could have helped keep the Bears in Illinois. When that proposal failed, Indiana suddenly looked much more attractive. Now here is where things get really interesting. Not everyone believes this is completely finalized. ESPN's Courtney Cronin reported that sources still believe Illinois has a chance to get back into the race. One source told Courtney Cronin directly that Illinois can still get back in the race. But then ESPN insider Adam Schefter received a very different message from another source. That source told Adam Schefter, "There is more work to do, but barring anything very strange, it is a done deal." And Bears fans, that is the quote that has everybody talking. Because if that source is right, we are no longer discussing possibilities. We are discussing a franchise that may soon play in another state. Now, before anybody panics, let's add some context. Hammond is not across the country. It is not Las Vegas. It is not St. Louis. It is not another region entirely. Hammond is roughly 35 to 40 minutes from Chicago depending on traffic. In fact, it is less than 30 miles from downtown Chicago. That is one reason why some people around the league believe the move would not dramatically affect the fan base. The Bears would still be operating inside the Chicagoland area. But emotionally, that is where things get complicated. Because for many fans, this is not about distance, it is about identity. It is about seeing the words Chicago Bears potentially playing home games in Indiana. And that is exactly why the reaction has been so intense. Indiana Governor Mike Brown wasted absolutely no time celebrating the news. In a statement, Mike Brown said, "Hoosiers, help me welcome the Chicago Bears to our great state." He went on to compare the opportunity to the legendary 1985 Bears defense and talked about economic growth, jobs and long-term benefits for Indiana. Meanwhile, the Indianapolis Colts also publicly responded. The Colts released a statement saying they were happy for the Bears and wished them success with their stadium initiative. They also said they hope the project creates economic growth throughout Northwest Indiana. That is another fascinating part of this story. If the move happens, Indiana would become home to two NFL franchises, the Indianapolis Colts and the Chicago Bears. Now let's move into the second story because this is where the emotions really start showing. After news of the Hammond project became public, social media exploded. And I mean exploded. Some Bears fans are furious. One fan wrote that the team should have stayed in Chicago and said that Kevin Warren and George McCaskey were responsible for the situation. Another fan said the Chicago Bears are part of Chicago's identity and that moving to Indiana feels like a betrayal of the city and the generations of fans who helped build the franchise. Then there was another reaction aimed directly at Kevin Warren. That fan argued that if the move happens, Kevin Warren's legacy will forever be tied to bringing the Bears to another state instead of keeping the team in Illinois. The same fan also said George McCaskey would be remembered as the person who hired him. Whether you agree with those comments or not, they show just how emotional this issue has become. Because let's be honest, this is not a normal stadium discussion anymore. This is personal for a lot of people. This franchise has deep roots in Chicago. Families have spent generations watching Bears football connected to the city. People grew up associating Soldier Field, the lakefront and Chicago itself with Bears football. So naturally, seeing Indiana enter the picture creates a very emotional reaction. At the same time, there are fans who see this differently. Some fans believe the organization simply needs the best stadium possible. Some believe modern revenue streams, development opportunities, infrastructure and long-term financial stability are more important than staying within state lines. Others point out that several NFL teams already play outside the cities in their names. The New York Giants play in New Jersey, the New York Jets play in New Jersey. The Washington Commanders do not play inside Washington, D.C., and those franchises continue to thrive. That is why this debate is not going away anytime soon, because both sides have arguments, and honestly, I can understand both perspectives. As a Bears fan, I want what is best for the future of this franchise. I want a stadium that helps this team compete financially with the biggest organizations in football. I want ownership making decisions that strengthen the Bears for the next generation. But at the same time, it is impossible not to feel something when you hear the words Chicago Bears and Indiana in the same sentence. That is just the reality. This story is bigger than football. It is about history, it is about tradition. It is about identity, and right now it feels like we are watching one of the most important decisions in modern Bears history unfold in real time. Whether Hammond ultimately becomes the permanent home of the franchise or whether Illinois somehow finds a way back into the race, one thing is clear. The Bears are closer than ever to a future that looked almost impossible to imagine just a few years ago. And Bears fans everywhere are trying to figure out what that future should look like. So now I want to hear from you. Do you support the move to Hammond, Indiana? Or do you believe the Bears should remain in Illinois no matter what? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is one of the biggest debates we have had in a long time. And if you enjoyed this update, do not forget to like the video. Subscribe to Bears News Daily if you are truly invested in the future of this franchise. We are still a brand new channel working toward our first 100 subscribers, and I would love to have real Bears fans join us from the very beginning. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and bear down.